belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today. Every day
Wow, it's good to have you here today on ATN Politics. Atlantic Television Network Politics is the network's flagship program that discusses core political trends with relevant political stakeholders. Today on ATN Politics, we will be discussing core issues from different political landscapes. Edo Guba 2024, Obebolo emerges APC governorship candidates.
And in Plateau State, APC frown over delay in inauguration of assembly members.
National Assembly tenure elongation bills stepped down.
An APC Governors Forum, Uzodinma removal condemned.
Well, joining us virtually today on the show is Dr. Dave Ojo, a renowned political analyst. Well, you'll get to meet him after this short break. Don't go nowhere.
are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all. ATN Politics today. Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today. Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Welcome back. Of course, we have here with us Dr. Dave Ojo Ajewole, an academician and a political analyst. Dr. Dave, you're welcome to the program this afternoon.
Thank
you.
Yeah, I'm good. It's good to have you again on the show.
Okay.
All right.
Good to have you.
A lot is happening, of course, in Edo State. Edo State has been in the news for the past few days. And so we're going straight to Edo State now, and I'm sure the APC and the PDP, I don't know who is producing more drama now. I think it's Edo State or either PDP or the APC. Let's take the first story for the day.
Well, on the brighter side, Senator from Edo Central has been declared winner of Edo All Progressives Congress Governorship Direct Primary Election. Cross Rivers State Governor Basi Oti, who was the chairman of Edo APC Shadow Pool, made the declaration after collating the results from the 18 local government areas. The collation and declaration at Lushfield Hotel and Suites, Gaperne Avenue, Government Reservation Area in Benin City. Obebolo pulled 12,433 votes to defeat the representative constituency in the House of Representatives, Dennis Idahosa, who scored 6,541 votes. Wow, that's
very interesting. Dr. Dave, last week we were told where APC had three candidates emerge. Three candidates. We had first Dennis Idahosa. We had Monday Opebolo, and we have I think Dekari, something Dekari or so. No, about four of them, even Clem Agba, the former Minister of State for Budget and Economic Planning, say he also was a winner. Four of them, and then the APC quickly congratulated the Idahosa, and well, a lot of things were happening, and then suddenly we heard that it has been cancelled, and another primary, was declared, and then of course the chairman of that primary election, Governor Uzodinma of Imo State, was removed and replaced by his deputy, Governor Bassey Otu of Cross River State. Now, today we had another primary election, and the wishes of the people, so to say, or even the APC, that actually zoned the election to that Edo Central initially. Because when Dennis Idauza was declared, a lot of people were saying no, Idauza is from Edo South. But now we're having Okwebolo, who is from Edo Central, as the duly elected candidate of the APC. Now we've not heard any other candidate that has emerged. But for now, we're having just one candidate. So what do you make of this? Is it a welcome development? Do you see APC eventually winning the governorship election in Edo State? But of course, the Shomole camp of the APC in Edo State may not be happy with this result, because Okwebolo is not from their camp. It's from the Izeyamu camp, so to say. So what do you make of this development in Edo State? Are you with us? All right. We're having some kind of technical issues. We don't hope that it's going to get better in Nigeria one day. When it works smoothly.
Of course.
You know, each time you get a call, an online.
Dr. Dave, yeah.
Are you back now? So, but with this now, that APC now have a candidate from Edo Central, I think it's a welcome development now.
Of course it is. Well, I am thinking of the gap.
The gap of what?
The votes.
Yes. That means how did Dennis watch what transpired last
Yeah, so
week.
how did he come up with real of the election? Because Daniel just had about 6,000 votes, while Okwebolo had 12,000 votes. Yes. Well, I hope that Zadima, you know, comes out from what he has put himself in.
I don't want to talk about you know, what I heard, what I read, and of course some calls that I did over the weekend, and the things I heard, how some candidate brought out, I think 1.1 dollars, you know, bribe money. I don't know who was accused of collecting or not collecting. The APC to remove Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State as a chair of the primary election, it speaks volume. There's a whole lot that I see may be revealed in some couple of days as to why he was removed, number one, and then secondly, as to why Okwebolo now became the candidate in place of Dennis Dawosa, whom the APC national chairman, you know, has actually congratulated. Yeah, Dr. Are you back now? Dr. Dave, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think, first of all, I will say congratulations to APC Edo State, at least for the very first time. You remember, sometimes when we're talking about the conduct of the primary and all what I do and the politics in Edo State, it is to a extent, for the very first time, they have the opportunity of presenting a candidate that is from Edo Central, which since 1999 has never had the privilege of having a credible candidate. But I want to say that Senator Okwebolo is a very good material to field this time around. And removing Senator Hope Uzodinma, if you look at the conduct of the initial primary that produced 3 candidates, you wonder how, you know, the level of rancor, infighting among the party. It's already looking like the party is not getting it right. Then, if the working committee decided, okay, let's remove it because it's not getting and it's not giving us what we expected. This is not the time to play games in Edo State. Remember, what happened to the governor there? You know, they lost him to PDP, and they should not afford to still allow the same mistake repeat itself this time around. So it's a very good one. His emergence is applauded by all us, and even the opposition are happy that Edo Central is producing over his emergence this time around. And that is to tell you that these people mean business. The electorate mean business in Edo State. It is no longer going to be business as usual, and their body language is showing that as it stands, they really want a change.
All right, they really want to change. Now, we're also hearing that PDP has, if all things go well, I'm sure it might be resolved also. The PDP now has two candidates, like we were told. One is from Edo Central, one from Edo North. The deputy governor, Comrade Philip, emerged from another parallel primary, while Dr. Aswe Ighodalo from Edo Central also emerged from the other faction of the party. Now, we don't know who generally become the flag bearer of the party. But if Dr. Aswe becomes the flag bearer, it means that it's Edo Central versus Edo Central. Well, that's why I look at it.
Well, let's also look at what is actually playing out. How is it that the PDP, you know, confidently has two candidates in Edo State?
The PDP will get their act together this time around and come to terms amongst themselves. Philip Tribal and the other candidate, it is better they resolve. But you know, the level and the rate at which APC is able or was able to, you know, mend the fence, it may not be so for PDP. I am not a prophet, and I am not, but the ease with which this can be achieved in PDP with the way, with the issues between Philip Saibu and the governor is yet another thing. And ordinarily, I see no reason why the crisis will linger up to this period.
For me, if I may say, the governor, because someone was saying today, look, that PDP needs to really quickly mend fences with Philip Saibu. He's not somebody you can just push away like that. As deputy governor and as a man close to the grassroots. So if PDP think that they can just you know, have their way without you know, because Saibu has the backing of the other 8 candidates, and those guys are strong contenders. They have their own base also. So for the governor, if Aswe has emerged from Edo Central, fine and good, but the issue is that Saibu may go to court, because I want to say that he is the original candidate and the authentic candidate of the party. That's what he say is a candidate now.
And he's also saying that he is the candidate that is constitutionally eligible
to contest election. So, well, let's see how this one leads us. But APC, like I said, I like what Dodo he said. He said APC has been able to manage, you know, their crisis, and of course, Opobola has now been accepted as the candidate of the party. And of course, it's from the Edo Central, which is very good. But for me, for PDP, it will take God's intervention. Let me use it that way. For Philip to back out or to back down on this particular issue, because the guy is so determined. He's feeling pain that his principal is not recognizing his effort. Now, for me, if I will advise, or what would be your advice as you know, in this scenario now? Do you think Philip will eventually become the candidate over Aswe, or Aswe become the candidate over Philip?
If you look at the politics and you look at the trend of things, the fallout between Phillips and the governor is over a year now, or almost getting to 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. And the governor brought Aswe. If it has long as the governor and Philip, his deputy, have not been able to come to town, I don't see Philip coming to town with a sway. The way the whole is close to election time, they are holding parallel primaries, and the handwriting has been on the wall long ago. One would have expected the governor to really find a level plane to come to town with Phillips, whether to persuade him so that, or persuade him, or whichever way, to ensure that the primary is less rank.
Well,
we hope that he will join us again. I think the network is not very friendly, but we just hope that he will be back to join us. But he's making a very good observation that look, this issue has been on for over 2 years between the deputy governor and the governor. And if he cannot be, okay, he's back.
Yes.
Okay, you're back. So
Yes.
okay.
So what I'm saying is that it is Philip's long life ambition, and he sees it as his own time, without recourse to other zones. And the governor should know better. And to me, I think the governor should try as much as possible to ensure that he pacifies Phillips before now. But the way it is, like to me, your question is whether I foresee them settling. I don't see Phillips backing out, as you rightly observed. He will do everything within his power, and I don't see him emerging as the candidate of PDP.
At the end of the day, those state PDP may not have a candidate in the election coming up. That's what it's going to resolve to.
That's a whole lot.
Well, we'll keep our tabs on the issue.
APC upper hand. Recall, we are still talking and battling with what happened in Plateau State. I wonder why these political party leaders are not learning. I wonder what they are not learning.
Cut.
Because at the end of the day, if they did a phantom primary to bring up anybody, with the way things are, it is going to be a jolly ride for APC candidates at the end of the day.
Well, that is the PDP is actually setting the stage for the APC to take over Edo State.
All right. We'll keep our tabs on the story, developing stories, and we'll definitely keep reporting it on Atn Politics. Well, we wish the APC candidate who had eventually emerged, said on Monday, representing the Edo Central at the National Assembly for emerging victorious, a very fine young man. I won't tell you what somebody said. Let me not, you know what I'm going to say. But this fine young man that we believe may emerge, but also the APC will also have to mend fences with all the other candidates, especially Dennis Dahosa, Dr. Clem Agba, and Professor Sumbo. But I'm sure Professor Sumbo will be happy that finally there's an Edo Central candidate, because he's also from Edo Central. Cannot get it, let somebody else get it from Edo Central. Well, we'll keep looking at them, and they will believe that come September, right?
Yes.
When the election will take place, the best candidate will definitely emerge as the governor that will take over from Godwin Obaseki from Edo South, who has ruled the state for 8 years.
And we actually hope that the PDP,
will resolve their issues.
It doesn't get messy. They should either resolve.
Definitely, it's going to get messy because Philip will have refused to back down, and he may go to court.
Well, like what he said in his interview this morning, he said 9 other aspirants are saying the same thing he is saying, and say no, the INEC was present in my election. You candidate, why do I have the backing of? If I am not, so,
all right, so
hopefully that.
Hope that it may be Aswe versus Okpebolo, or Philip Shaibu versus Monday Okpebolo in the coming election. Of course, party has not produced a candidate yet. They also having crisis. The Lamidia Papa faction and the Abure faction. You know, Abure has been released on an administrative bail. You know, so we hope that that will not affect the primaries. And of course, there are also two contenders, Olumide Apata and the other man they call the Rice Man. He's also a serial contender for for governorship. I'm sure he has contended in almost all the parties.
The Nigerian political scene and serial contenders are 5 and 6.
You know, so let's hope that they will also produce two candidates. All right, Dr. Ojo, let's move on to Plateau State now. The All Progressive Congress (APC) has expressed its displeasure over the continuous delay in the inauguration of the 16 members of the APC affirmed by the Court of Appeal to be members of the Plateau State House of Assembly. Recall that the Court of Appeal sacked 16 People's Democratic Party members of the House of Assembly and affirmed 16 APC members as duly elected on the premise that the PDP lacked the structure to field candidates for election. The recent development as the sacked PDP lawmakers approached the Federal High Court for the full interpretation of the judgment of the Supreme Court, which affirmed Governor Caleb Mufang as the duly elected governor of the state, adding that the judgment has set aside the Court of Appeal judgment. The All Progressive Congress members are equally in court over the issue, while the Speaker of the House of Assembly has clearly stated that the contending parties will not be allowed into the House until the issue at stake is resolved, adding that there is an injunction restraining him from inaugurating the APC members. Speaking during a condolence visit to the Secretariat in Plateau State, the South-South Deputy National Chairman of the party, Honorable Mainoku, said the National Secretary of the party is looking into the issue, adding that keeping the 16 APC members out of the House will no longer be tolerated. The party is looking into it. In fact, in our working 3 days ago, the issue came up and was discussed. The National Chairman is taking it to the President. We're not leaving it this line low, so the party will make sure the matter is addressed and we are allowed to function. We are the party in government, and we cannot be taken for granted. The Court of Appeal is the highest court of judicial in the area of the House of Assembly matters, and therefore they cannot give a judgment and the government will speak under the rock. We are going to make sure that the judgment is implemented and that justice is seen to be done, and it is done. So I want to appeal to all of us to be calm. When your father is a lion, don't come to carry the children anyhow. I assure you that being a member of our great party is not regrettable. Therefore, we want to assure you, as part of the system, that everything will be all right. Dr. Joe, if you're still here, I had to make sure that I read the whole story so that we can get what the guy is saying. I'm sure you are laughing, because you can hear the whole thing. The matter, of course, like I'm sure some weeks back we discussed this issue also. In the nation. Now the Speaker has been restrained from inaugurating those members as members of the House of Assembly. PDP has gone to court again. That Federal High Court, now they are starting afresh. The Federal High Court should interpret a judgment by the Supreme Court, because they say their governor has been allowed to continue his job. So why wouldn't they also be allowed to continue their job? And the APC say, look, we're the party in power. We will take this issue to the president. I don't want to say the other thing he said, but so particular story, it sounds very interesting.
Well, very, very, very interesting. Thank you, Timmy. You see, the thing is this: a process that that made a pronouncement that the APC legislators, the 16 APC legislators, be reinstated, or they should take the place of the PDP. Now, I wonder what the chairman is saying. If you believe in a process, then you should have the temerity to wait and let the whole thing play out the way it should be. What is the need of saying the president, the lion, the snake, and all the brouhaha about it? Because already the judgment favors the party, so why are they in a hurry? If one, the PDP cannot challenge the judgment, and that was why they now had to go back to the High Court, a court of equal jurisdiction, to look at a lot of things, and there are a lot of injunctions for stay of execution of the judgment, because as it stands, they cannot proceed beyond where they are. So they should allow them time to do what they want to do at the High Court. After all, it's not going to be indefinite. It's not going to be a thing forever. It is a process. They should allow it to pan out, and then at the end of the day, they should not be in a hurry. What is the man saying? The president is the president that declared the seat of 16 PDP legislators? No, boy, no. So bringing what is the thing talking about the ruling party and so what? Is he now telling us that it is because the ruling party is the ruling party that the judgment was given in favor of APC? We've seen in other states where issues like this were trashed out by the judiciary. Why is he telling, what is he telling us? Is he telling us that the judiciary is an arm of the executive? Obviously not. Yeah, I see no reason why the man should be overzealous over what?
Well,
somebody occupying such position should be courteous, and he should know that it is procedural, and at the end of the day, they should believe in a process that produces them, and have faith in the judiciary that at the end of the day, the interpretation is not going to be a nullity.
Well, Dr. Dave, do you think that it is actually distracting to have APC members from different states, from time to time dragging the president into every matter that comes up?
The problem is when you look at the leadership, when you look at the level of maturity of the so-called leaders, it is worrisome. It is worrisome. What is expected of a leader, it should be such that you understand the process. But when you have a leader that is grossly inefficient and ineffective, at the end of the day, you have issues like this. A leader that does not know, when you have that tread the path of psychopathy, this is what you have. It's not about the party, but it's about the law.
All right, it's not about the party.
It's not about the president. Bringing the president into this is not. It does not hold any water. It does not hold water. It does not.
Wow.
All right. I think that's that. I actually agree with Dr. Dave that says it does not hold water, which is the truth, nothing but the truth. Because each time you keep mentioning the president, does the president have powers over the Supreme Court?
It was because of the president that...
There should be kind of training for these leaders so that they know what is expected of them, they know what their roles are, they know the bounds
and where to draw the line, break.
And what is expected of them.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Dave. We'll go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll go straight to the National Assembly.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on Atn Politics today. Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the
I have fought a very firmly.
natural occurrence, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Well, good to have you back on ATN Politics. And still with us on the show is Dr. Dave Odili. Now to the National Assembly, elongation of tenure of the clerk of the National Assembly from 35 years to 40 years of service, with the current clerk, Sani Tambuwa, would have been the first, was rejected and stepped down after a heated debate on Thursday. The bill was sponsored by the leader of the Senate, Michael Obeyemi, urging the upper legislative chamber to extend the tenure of the clerk and other directors in the administrative structure of the National Assembly. The proposed legislation was titled A Bill for an Act to Make Provisions for the Retirement Age of Staff of National Assembly Service and Other Related Matters, 2024. The bill was heavily opposed, with Senator Naya Abaribe wondering if staffs of the National Assembly who were employed by the National Assembly Service Commission are different from staff in other agencies of government. Senator Ali Ndume, representing Borno South, warned that posterity would not be fair to the lawmakers if the interest of few individuals packaged in the bill was sustained by the Senate. In the same time, Castina North openly opposed the bill and asked the Senate President to throw it out for want of merit. The President, Senator Zangondaura Nasir Sani, representing Castina North Senatorial District, I am opposing the bill because it seems to carry the interest of some powerful element, and we should not be used to legitimize it. Subsequently, Senate President Godswill Akpabio declared the bill contentious and stepped it down indefinitely. Wow. Dr. Dave. So, well, what's your take on this story?
No, I told the line of Senator because there is a civil service and there's the provision of now that is our leaders. These are legislators. If the House leader will move such motion, what does it suggest to you? And that is why we have the crisis we have in Nigeria, because what they are supposed to face, what they are supposed to legislate on, it is reduced. Nationalism is reduced to personalities. It ought not to be so. If okay, you move it from 30 years to 35 years, is that not enough? Must they die in office? And the way they are going about some of these things is, in those days, while growing up, you see people retiring at the age of 40, you see, because they believe, these are nationalists. They believe in the nation because things are working. They know things are not working. And that is why you see people perpetuate themselves in the office. And that is why they want to go through the back door to change the civil service rule.
Dr. Dave, my concern about this is that, just like what Senator Sani said, that why must it be, it appears as it's meant for some particular individuals, just because some people are involved, especially the current clerk of the National Assembly, Mr. Tambuwa. It appears that bill was prepared to keep him in office. Maybe the guy is doing a wonderful job for the senators, nobody can say. But I think I'm happy that the Senate President has stepped it down. And so let's not dwell much on this particular topic. Is that the Gulan normally say is dead on arrival. So let's assume that this is dead on arrival. Now, moving on now, the National Vice Chairman of the All Progressive Congress in the Southeast, Arodiogu Ijoma, has condemned a recent call for the removal of Imo State Governor Senator Hope Uzodinma as chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum. A founding member of the party, Chief Osita Okechukwu, had recently criticized Uzodinma, calling for his removal as chairman of the forum, following controversies surrounding the conduct of the Edo APC primaries. And of course, reacting to this, the leadership of the zone in the party, Southeast, denounced such a call, describing Okechukwu's remark as laughable. The national vice chairman of the party in the zone, I must frown at the penchant for certain elements to openly cast aspersions on our leaders in the party. It is worrisome that the likes of Okechukwu, who had never won an election, neither in his polling units or in his ward, will turn around and throw careless words against the leadership of Senator Uzodinma. While I understand that this is democracy, and democracy, there must be disagreement between persons, such disagreement must stem from how to grow the party in the zone and not to put them down as exhibited by a number of failed politicians such as Osita Okechukwu. Now, I frown at some of this kind of statement coming from supposed leaders of the party. Now, this is your fellow man from the eastern zone of the party. He's in his mind. He's saying what he thinks should be done. And because you are the vice chairman of the party in the zone, you now begin to call him a failed politician. Him that is talking, has he contested any election also and won? Or is it because he was appointed as a vice chairman of the party? So I don't know what's your take on this, where there are calls that this man should be removed because of his actions and whatever happened at the Edo primary, if there was some kind of bribe or whatever, I don't know. I don't have the details. So, but calling someone who has been head of a Nigerian organization, I think it was, I think the voice, is it Voice of Nigeria now? That man was the DG of that Voice of Nigeria. Yes, a failed politician because he has never contested election and to win in his ward. So, what's your take first on the alleged call for removal of Uzodinma as chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, and then secondly, the way leaders of political parties address opposing leaders in the same party, calling them names? What do you make of that?
Well, my take on that is there is the need for Governor Hope Uzodinma to also try as much as possible and steer the affairs of the party and the forum in such a way that it will show dexterity, competency, and leadership attributes in him. Governor Hope Uzodinma should show leadership. His Excellency should show leadership. He should be seen to be father to all. All these allegations, they are now setting. He needs to sit down and reorganize himself in such a way that, and he should not also give in to influences party. And although the idea of them calling themselves names is inappropriate, and if they are calling for the removal of His Excellency, it is a time for him and his followers to sit down and look at what was wrong. Look at Edo primaries, the one he conducted. It took the grace of God for them not to produce 9 candidates. He managed to produce 3, and only 1 is needed in the party. So, and people should not talk.
It's like
should not questions.
It's a payback time for Adams Oshiomhole because he was submitted to Governor Hope
Uzodinma's. Of course.
You don't need to win an election before you know what is right, before you know your right from your left. And the same thing he could not do, given the longer period of time, was done when the party reorganized itself within a very short period of time, in weeks. So something is definitely wrong somewhere that he also needs apart from the court, he also needs to sit himself down and talk to himself as the leader of the forum. Because the truth of the matter is, what you don't have, you cannot give. What type of leadership is His Excellency providing in Imo State? Then how did he ascend the throne to become the forum chairman? That is a discussion for another day. But it doesn't matter. There are all these things that are politics. But when it is time to show leadership, politics should be, should not. It's not everything that is politics. When he is supposed to show leadership, let him show leadership.
All right, thank you so much. When it's time for him to show leadership, he should show leadership. I think I want to agree with you. As the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, he cannot conduct just a very simple task of a primary election in a state without controversies. And so I think I want to say that most of our leaders sometimes don't behave like leaders. How can you go organize a primary election and the venue that has been officially recognized by the public, because we were told that talks came and then they started the process, and then you now took the media and other people to another hotel to announce the result without informing INEC that you are leaving to another hotel to announce the result. And that was what led to the cancellation of that particular primaries. We have more than 4 candidates declaring themselves as winners of that election. We even saw one that eventually became the candidate, was announced in the house of another aspirant who withdrew from the race a day before that time. So it's very unfortunate. But well, like we said, we'll keep putting all our eyes on the stories, our ears to the ground to get videos. But our nation needs, a lot of people need to be reformed as leaders. That's the core. A lot of leaders need to be reformed to understand that leadership is not just to answer, I'm a leader, but leadership is that you also, beget leaders. You train people to also know that, yes, I have been able to at least, so this, and there's a saying that say, you are not yet a leader until you produce other leaders. That's much you can take today, Dr. Dave.
Let's hear his final
words. Your final take on all the issues. You know, just do a recap of all the issues that we have discussed today. If you can't remember all of them, I'm sure you can do.
Well, I think the most important, the take home on all the issues is that patriotism should be the watchword to everybody at all levels, both the citizens and the governors and the governed. That is what is lacking, and that is why we have all these issues on our hands. People are no longer patriotic. We have accidental leaders that are not patriotic. It is not about me. It is about the nation. To learn to put the nation first. Because today we are here. Tomorrow we will definitely not be here. What legacies are we laying? What nation are we building? That is the recap of the whole thing. On the whole issue, we should all be patriotic.
Remember that. Patriotism is key. Well, thank you for joining us today on Atn Politics. Hey, you can stay connected with us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. Our X handle is Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Now, do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. I am Chinyere Davis.
And I am Timidare. See you next time on ATN Politics.